Hey guys, it's John. In this video, I want to run through the 5 biggest lies that coaches believe or believe they need in order to get more clients online. I'm going to go through the 5 non-negotiables from my perspective, judged on my experience helping over 400 fitness coaches earn a collective $5 million worth of revenue. And so this is like the last 5 years of my experience of what I've tried and tested, what I've observed, the 5 biggest lessons. And these are the biggest mistakes I see people make. We're going to start off with views because everyone looks at views as the main metric and they think they need just to be seen more. I just need to be seen more, and if I'm seen more, then I'll get clients. You know, I just feel like I'm not going out to enough people. Well, if you're not converting from the current views, what makes you think increasing the number of views is going to help? Growing and getting more exposure on your profile does not necessarily equal sales. It doesn't equal more clients. And it's a very different thing. And it kind of ties in with the second thing, which is followers. Like, these two do go hand in hand, and you get a lot of people optimizing for growing a following. It's not the same as extracting clients. It's a very different approach. Growing a following, you can grow a list of people who are so passive and are never going to invest in your service. And then a lot of coaches, they just judge themselves and they compare themselves where they put out a reel and they don't get high views. And they think it's not worthwhile. They think that didn't work. But ironically, reels that have the lowest views tend to convert more. Because if you think about the psychology of this, when we get onto messaging, if you're speaking to one person and you're so accurate with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that the person's going through, you speak directly to them, and it resonates for that person, by a byproduct of that, it's going to be selective and niche. So it's not going to apply to many people. So you're going to get low views, but you're going to get high penetration. A bit dodgy, but you're going to get high impact on that one person, and that will encourage inquiries. And I know this for a fact. One of my colleagues, Andy, he used to average sort of 6,000, 8,000 views on his reels, and this was back a year or so ago. And this reel he put out, I think it was something like 300 views versus 8,000. Performed terribly, but he made $9,000 off that reel because it resonated with 3 people and they signed up, paid in full. So you just got to be incredibly careful with views, and you've got to look at it really is a different skill set to improve and create impact and extract interest and extract leads and motivate someone to follow through on your call to action versus just trying to get mass exposure, because this can be very passive. Obviously, all this I teach, and I've just launched my community. It's $49 a month. You can get involved for as little as, what is that, $12.50 a week? So, you know, $12.50 per week. Pretty much less than gym membership, and we go through everything. All that's designed in that community is to get you to 8K per month. 8K per month following at least sort of 12 hours worth of video course and content. Everything I've learned over the last 5 years, it's all in there. So if you want to check that out, click on the link below, have a look at it, and if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, don't. Anyway, then we're going to look at growing your following. Again, similar. Okay, I just need more followers, I need more followers. No, you don't. You need to know how to extract those followers. You need to know how to connect with those people. 19 out of 20 people won't reach out. So if you're just trying to get more and more and more and optimize for the 5%ers who might come through, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and there's probably clients and leads right in front of your nose that you have no clue, and they're never going to make the first move until you make that connection point. The content should create signals, and we should react to the signals and make the first move to introduce ourselves. And this is it's the stuff that you don't want to do. It's the consistent work that adds up over time. Think about diet, think about training, think about activity. It's no different from growing your business. Being seen consistently, posting consistently, refining the messaging, and connecting with people, it's that consistent task which is ultimately going to move your business forward, and we'll get onto that. And then you've got VAs. VAs, such low trust right now. They were very popular 2 years ago, a year ago. People still use them, but people can tell. People can tell it's not you. And particularly if they message people that you already know. So you do not need someone to do this process for you. If you can just be a human first and not be a coach, this is an entirely different thing when we get onto trust. But if you can just use social media as being social to get the conversation off the ground, you do not need VAs. You just need to be able to connect with people outside of what you do for a living. It's as simple as that. And once you do, you find you're going to get higher conversion rate off the first message. You're going to get higher communication. You're going to get more responses. You're going to enable that person to actually form a relationship with you. Because most people want to buy, but we hate being sold to. As soon as this person comes in, it feels like you're being sold to. guess what? Don't work anymore. Why? Oh, because it's so apparent that someone's in the account just trying to message. And then same with automations. You've got ManyChat. A lot of people love ManyChat. My experience, it can be useful, but you don't need it. Again, a lot of this is laziness. A lot of this is just outsourcing for the sake of outsourcing, and it's outsourcing the work you don't want to do because it's convenient. But if this doesn't convert, it's worthless and it's costing you money. So there's some things in life and there's some things in business which are incredibly important, and that is getting clients and making sales. And making sales doesn't have to feel salesy. It's just you have to bridge off the fact that on your stories, on your content, if you just resonate and connect with people and just be a human being up front without asking for direct return or expecting direct return, you'll be surprised how well you can do just doing this yourself. But if you outsource it, you're going to create lower trust over time. It will lower the engagement in your account, and then you have to go to do paid ads, because I see this cycle happen over and over and over again where they have VAs, they have some form of automations in place, they outsource the human connective part, then people kind of recognize that, they realize that the trust goes down, you get low engagement, then you have to go beyond the following. You don't need ads. You can use them, but you don't need them. And looking at all of this, one of my clients, Adam, he got to 5K per month without a following. He had no following on Instagram. They're all his colleagues. He had no one in his following who was actually his target market. So we started from scratch. And in the meantime, we built something on Facebook. We started to connect and add friends, and we built the following from scratch on there. And we were proactive with messaging. We helped people up front. We gave out free resources and lead magnets. We had a follow-up process in place. And then we just generally help people. And once you switch your attention away from I need me, sign up to my thing, to, well, how can I help? What do you want? Help them to buy, you get greater conversion. And again, we've got to 5K without a following. And we've never used automations or VAs in that. And a lot of my clients, one of my clients have got up to, 21K? 21K per month without doing any ads. So again, he's got an audience size of 4,000 followers. So we don't have to get beyond the audience, because we're just effectively collaborating and putting our message in front of the highest trust audiences. So you don't need mass exposure, and that's the key takeaway. You don't need more views. You don't need more followers. They can be useful, but it's not the rate limiting step. The rate limiting step is your messaging. It's how you're coming across. It's how you're connecting with people and how you're influencing people, or whether or not they're interested in how you're communicating your offer. So again, all this stuff I teach inside the AAA community. Links below. Everything's structured into a degree. There's calls. I go through everything of this. Every 2 weeks we go through a call and a deep dive on one of these topics. But the whole structure and the whole community and me engaging and helping you with one-to-one feedback in the group, it's there to kind of make you learn this and help you implement everything I'm going through now. So if you find this useful, you can find more information below. But when we get onto the 5 non-negotiables, the biggest thing you obviously need is trust. So what does that actually mean? It means you being you, not trying to come across as someone you're not. And that can be hard to understand, but it's how you communicate. If you're speaking to the camera, are you speaking like you're speaking to a friend? Are you speaking like one-to-one, rather than one-to-many, rather presenting, rather than hi guys, it's that cringy sort of voice we put on, and we all start there, but it's trying to tone that down and speak directly as a one-on-one conversation. So building that trust, and again, it's little elements, it's quite hard to explain, but this is where, it's the delay between, giving and then asking. The greater the distance between these two, the more trust you're going to get. So if you can help up front and give, and don't lead, don't try and ask, don't try and process, don't try and do what VAs do continually. Hey mate, how's training going? Fuck off. So literally, it's just giving and connecting and helping up front. It's just being real, being human, sharing stuff in your stories. It's about you. You're multidimensional. You're not just a coach. People, if they look at you on your socials, what are you? If you're just posting about service, or what you do for a living, or coaching, again, it can start to lower this and make you feel like you're not authentic and you're there just for one purpose, to get clients. And ultimately, we are, but we have to realize where the platform's going. We have to understand that you can't get away with just posting info tips anymore. You can't get away with just dropping DMs because people trust is at an all-time low, authenticity is at all-time low, skepticism is at all-time high. So we have to just be social and be willing to wait a little bit more, be patient. But we've also got to have a process in place, because you can't just turn up and just wing it. And I appreciate you want to fast track your results, you want to get there as soon as possible, you want to get clients, you want a system. So you need to have a content strategy which connects with, or references the problems and connects with the struggles of someone at the early stage of their process. If you got like day one, and then you got year two, I realise you're probably not going to see that. Year two, you've got a timeline of events, right? And you've got to resonate with this person at day one. How do they feel? What do they like? And that's part of the content strategy. It's that connecting with people on that level. Then you could show using storytelling effectively. Again, people are hardwired to stories, so if you can reference that, you can incorporate that into your content to get more people through and to build that trust and lead to more call to actions, more effective call to actions. And then you've got to realise that, if you look at the marketplace, if you do like a triangle like that, you've got different segments of the market. You've got people who are interested right now, you've got people who are researching, people who are aware, but they're not interested right now, and you've got people who are unaware. So it's having a strategy in place, knowing where to go on your stories, knowing how to react, how to create signals, i.e. engagement, new followers, current followers, poll responses, and having methods in place to connect with those people and understand who has the most awareness of your process and who you are. And the content is designed to inform people and attract people with the problems, inform them of what the solution is, i.e. your service, show proof it works, and then you have a strategy to connect with those people. And then every now and then we can do some form of call to actions. We can put stuff out there, we can mention what we have to offer, and it kind of all interlinks. You can't just post, is what I'm trying to say. Posting is not marketing. You have to connect with this. And this is what we do. Like Shane was a huge part of this. He went from 24 to 119 clients by having a bit more of a structure in place for his content, but also this, because he would just wait every 3 months, he would put a call to action up and try and recoup the top part of the market. And we realised that if we alternated the content a little bit and then started to practically reach out to these bottom segments, they could be story viewers, they could be people reacting and engaging on his content, of collaborations, they could be people in the vicinity, not in his audience, but his clients' audiences. With that in mind, we found there was a huge segment who are very close to signing up, or they're not so close to signing up. If we could just offer help or connect with those people and start to attract them and bring them in, that increases trust because there's time between giving and asking. And then that makes sure that your clients coming through and through and through. And obviously it compounds because you've got greater numbers in the lower levels. So you need to have a process. You can't just turn up and do it willy-nilly. But doing it in the right way is key. So we talked about messaging, we've covered that really. But that is understanding your target market, understanding the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions, where they are at the beginning, and then where they want to get to. And then using stories and resonating, using yourself to reflect, showing the inside of your service. And it's also just how you come across. And that leads me on to point 4, because point 4, this is it's a little bit woo-woo, and it's hard for me to describe. I don't have specific data on this, but I know this to be true. It's how are you turning up? How do you come across? People can tell when you have commission breath. People can tell when you're self-serving. Me. I'm starting this conversation because I'm waiting to introduce what I have. And people can sense that. They can sense it in the tone of voice, they can sense it in the words, they can sense it by looking at you and your content. And this is the greatest irony. You've got people saying, there's no interest out there. No one's interested, I can't do this, or that strategy doesn't work. And then you look at their content and it's all like sign up now or one dimensional. And it's just trying to drive. And this is what I've got. You need this. And it's just all sign up now. I've got this running. Clients doing discount here, offer there, discount there, clients there. Do it now. Make no excuses. And it's just so pressured into forcing people and really hamstringing them around this top segment. And it looks desperate. And people can feel that. Whereas if I haven't put patience on here because you'd look at it and go, Christ, I have patience, thanks John. I want to get clients now. But it is an element of this. It's an element of giving them without asking directly and appearing that you're not phased. Because if you don't appear desperate, if you feel the opposite of desperate and you come across as indifferent, willing to help, relaxed, it feels like you don't need it. And this is the crux. If you need it, you don't get it. If you want it but don't need it, you get it. And that's the irony. In the early stages, if we're trying really, really hard and it feels like we need it to the other person, there's that instinctual response of like, don't know about this. What's going on? Is there something going? He seems like he's really pushy. They just reflect and they pick up on that. Whereas if it's the opposite, if we kind of step back, they step forwards, it's attractive. And it's simple as that. I don't know how else to describe it really, but being patient, thinking of not us, but giving up front. And the greatest irony is it will get you there quicker because again, people will feel better about you. They'll form a better first impression of you. The trust will start to establish a lot more quickly. And it looks like you're more successful because you don't need it. And if you don't need it, things are going well. If you need it, he needs it. Maybe things aren't going well. Maybe that's it in the subconscious mind. And then lastly, yes, boring as hell, but it's true. Consistency, like all things. You need to be able to commit to a process for a long period of time with the right energy and then just constantly refine this to build trust. And literally just adding those up, aren't I? But genuinely, $5 million raised for clients, 400 people helped so far. And it does boil down to this on like a meta scale. Yes, there's strategies involved with the process of content or story strategy. There are funnels you can build. There's things you can do to systemize this, but this is how you apply yourself. And it's essential. And I just want to give you some belief that you don't need any of those options. You can benefit from them. Definitely not these. More followers wouldn't be too bad. More views would be okay, but they're not necessary. Don't let this hold you back. Don't let these excuses to tell your belief that you can't achieve everything you want. Everyone I've seen and everyone that comes to me, if they're just willing to be consistent and try new things, you can get to 8K. You can get to 8K because if you sign up one person, you can sign up 1,000. And it's just a question of being willing to put the work in for a long period of time and being open to learn and model what works. Because again, this works. The community I built is to help more people at a lower price point. Because I know that I can help more people beyond my one-to-one service. I still do one-to-one, but at the early stages, a lot of people appreciate the fact that they don't have that investment ready. So it's literally like, $12 a week to get involved and benefit from all the information and everything that I've kind of covered here. It's all structured in a linear format and it's broken down in courses. And the purpose of the course is to guide you through that course and help you through that process. And if I can help you rewrite your belief systems so you're aware that you have a lot more potential than you think you do, and you're just a few tweaks away, a few what to say and how to approach and what to do in these circumstances away, and then understanding exactly how to create your content, you'll be surprised at the amount of interest out there. Because a big part of this with the messaging, which you didn't cover, because again, you've got content here, again, you're not going to see that. So there's no point you writing it. But anyway, content, and then you've got offer. That's the big thing. This morning, voice note one of my clients, she hasn't had many sign-ups recently. She's worrying and she's considering, does she need to go back to one-to-one? Does she need to go back into a service that gave her leads in the past? Can she be independent? She's concerned. And it's winter and she's worried about, will there be enough in January? I know for a fact that there's so many people out there who need her help. She just needs to communicate it. She needs to communicate a value, a damn sight better. And guess what? I helped to do it. We got to a point where we repackaged her service, put it in something a little bit more visually stimulating, explained it in better detail with a voice note. Any old clients that she had, any old leads that she had, sent out. We're doing a batch of 10 at a time. Guess what? 50% response rate. Within 12 hours, 5 came back saying, what the hell is this? I want it in. Literally. And that's same service explained in a completely different way and using a bit of graphics to demonstrate the messaging and the value that she's got. And that's the irony. They're right there. They were always there, right in front of her. It just came down to how we turn up, how we communicate, how we provide the messaging. And that is it. You're tweaks away from getting more clients. You just need to know how to communicate. Anyway, that's it for now. Catch you next one.